Hi and welcome again to another episode of Sealed for Good. Today we're going to talk about one of our new products we're bringing into our range, our Gripset N17, and this is the first installment of our nanotechnology which we are introducing to the Gripset range. So, nano, the word is used very loosely in the market, but what is nanotechnology? Well, nanotechnology, and again, I'm not going to get too scientific and in-depth here because the episode is more about how the product is used. But nanotechnology is the application of very small things that can be used across many fields, and in science, chemistry, biology, physics, etc. But to give you a sense of perspective on how nanotechnology is in size, if you can just try and picture this. So 1 nanometer is 1/1000th of a meter, 1 nanometer. A sheet of paper, which would be, let me put one of these ones out, like that, sheet of paper, is 1/100th of a nanometer thick. Is 100,000 nanometers thick. Okay, so that's 100,000 nanometers thick, and 1 nanometer is 1/1000th of a meter. So it puts into perspective of how fine those particles are. So one of the biggest advantages of nano products when you talk about sealers is the unrivaled property that they have to penetrate surfaces. These, because of the minute particle sizes, they penetrate surfaces like no other. And that is really the big key of nanotechnology when it comes to the sealer range. Their penetrating property gives it a deep reach into the matrix of whatever that surface is. So if it's concrete or timber, you'll find it penetrates in. It's not a surface sealer, it gets into the surface. And from that, it gives you long-term protection, because what you've got is that even mechanical damage that might happen to the top of the substrate won't damage the sealer because it's penetrated through. So you'll see up on screen now just a couple images on how nanos work. And so this is showing our Gripset N17, the first installment to our range, which is for concrete and timber surfaces. And so when you apply a nano sealer, it's just sprayed onto a substrate. Almost looks like a water or primer, and that nano sealer is applied, and the particles then start to commence organising themselves, and so they penetrate the surface, and then the nanoparticles organise themselves into a very thin, even sealing layer over that surface. And what you'll find is when you're applying the product, it no longer, it will start to beat on itself. That means you've got full coverage. So when you've got a nano sealer being applied to, or our Gripset N17 being applied to a porous surface like concrete, masonry or timber, obviously like most of our products, they're solvent free, have excellent penetrating properties. Okay, so it can get up to 4 to 6 mil penetration depending on how absorbent and porous that surface is. You've got very good abrasion resistance for the fact that the sealer doesn't break down to just traffic on top, so because it's penetrating into the surface. You get a hydrophobic property, and we're going to go into that in a minute because I'm going to show you how it's used on these products here. And the most important thing about the nano range and our nano N17 is it doesn't change the appearance of the surface, and that's a big ask for many clients, particularly in the landscaping space where you've got concrete surfaces or paving surfaces where you want to be able to maintain the existing look without having that gloss or glazed appearance over it from that other sealers provide. And you've got anti-staining properties as well against other things like drink solutions and oils, etc. When you have those spillages, you do have to clean them up, but they do bead for a period of time, which gives you time to then remove that bead of spillage to stop it from penetrating to the surface. So on concrete and masonry or timber decks, but I'm going to show you now, these two pavers have been sealed with the nano N17, and if I try and, you should find that one of these sides are, there you can see the water's just, and this side the water's beating. Okay, and so matter of fact is that when you apply it to different surfaces, okay, so obviously that's the side that's got the sealer, and that's absorbing in. And so what this actually does, if you look at it from a perspective of even being for slip resistance, when you've got that hydrophobic property and it beads, you can see the spread of water spreads out as it is absorbent, whereas the bead stays as it is, and so it actually gives you an enhanced slip resistance. Okay, that is the primary focus of nano sealers, and this Gripset N17 product we've got in the market, whether it's timber, concrete, masonry, you can put on a vertical surface, but this is going to go on a substrate where no other coatings are going to go over it. You can't then paint over it. This is it. So you're selecting a substrate where you want to maintain that look and no change in the appearance. Okay, but great weathering properties, UV resistance, weathering resistance, etc. Frosts, snows, high UV factors, perfect for that. So the point of difference with the N17 to standard sealers in the market, you've got a water saving property to it because you actually have less dirt retention and cleaning when you've got this type of seal on your substrate. It enhances the commercial or helps reduce commercial cleaning costs as well. You've got that deep penetration, that deep treatment as we mentioned, and as I showed here, that non-slip property to it. The N17 is available in various sizes. It is not, and the coverage is, you got 1 litre will go 10 to 12 square metres, so you get fantastic coverage out of it, unlike a traditional sealer might be 4 to 6 square metres per litre. It's not for every application, but we're opening up this market for areas because as we've shown before, we had Frank Ross on here from the Landscape Association a few weeks ago, and there's a big demand with pavers around poolside applications, entertainment areas, but also in commercial spaces where you get a lot of traffic, foot traffic, student areas, universities, concrete substrates that have got regular cleaning, spillages of different solutions, drinks, etc. Perfect product for those applications. If you'd like to know more, get onto gripset.com, call 1-800-650-435. Our guys out there are ready to help you with these inquiries, and check it out. I'm sure you'll find an application for it shortly. Till next time, we'll see you again.